You click a link, and the page appears almost instantly. Someone else on another continent clicks the exact same link, and it feels just as fast. That is not magic. It is geography, redesigned. A website is not one object sitting in one place. It is a conversation between your device, a network, a server, and back again. Every kilometer adds a tiny tax. In the simplest model, every visitor travels to the origin server, the company's main home, and waits for it to answer. That works for a small audience. But when a headline breaks, a game launches, or a sale begins, the same narrow doorway suddenly has to serve everyone. The result is not merely a slower benchmark. It is a person abandoning a checkout, a student losing a lesson, or a small business missing a customer. This is where a content delivery network, or CDN, enters the story. A CDN adds many strategically placed edge servers between you and that origin. The edge does not replace the origin. It keeps useful copies closer to the people asking for them. Images, style sheets, JavaScript, fonts, software downloads, and video segments are strong candidates because many people can share them. Here is the first visit. A browser asks the nearest edge for a file. The edge checks its shelf. Nothing is there yet. That is a cache miss. The edge forwards the request to the origin, receives the file, and sends it back to you. The second visitor asks for the same file. This time, the edge already has it. That is a cache hit, and the long trip disappears. The speed-up is mostly about round trips. Fewer miles, fewer network handoffs, and less work at the busy origin. A CDN cannot repeal physics. Packets still travel through cables and radio links. It simply makes the trip shorter and the route more prepared. To you, it still looks like one website. Behind the scenes, the same brand may be served from Montreal, Sao Paulo, Nairobi, Singapore, or a dozen places between. How does your browser find the right edge? One piece is DNS, the Internet's directory. It helps steer your request toward a nearby point of presence. Nearby is a useful shortcut, not a promise. Providers also consider congestion, outages, cost, and the health of each location. A typical request now looks like this. Browser, local network, Internet exchange, edge server, and only then, if needed, origin. But not every page is a copy. A personalized bank balance cannot be served like a public logo. Some responses depend on who you are, what you just did, or what is happening right now. That is dynamic content. CDNs can still help with it by accelerating connections, routing intelligently, or running code at the edge, but caching requires much more care. Every cached file needs a freshness rule. Keep it for 10 seconds, 10 minutes, or 10 days. The answer depends on how painful stale information would be. When a file changes, the system may purge old copies, version the file name, or wait for the timer to expire. This is cache invalidation, the famously tricky part. Modern CDNs often sit in front of websites as a security layer too, absorbing attacks, filtering suspicious traffic, and hiding the origin's direct address. A distributed network can spread a sudden surge across many locations instead of forcing one machine to carry the entire crowd. But distributed does not mean free. You pay for traffic, configuration, observability, and the complexity of deciding what is safe to store. The practical rules are straightforward. Identify static assets, give them versioned names, compress them, and serve them with long-lived cache headers. Separate public from private. Never let convenience turn a user-specific response into a shared copy. Finally, measure from real locations. A fast test in one city can hide a slow experience somewhere else. Watch the time to first useful content, not just the final score. A page that communicates early feels more responsive while the rest continues loading. The mental model is simple. Put reusable things near people, keep changing, or private things carefully connected to the source, and measure the whole journey. So when a website feels fast in too far away places, remember what you are feeling. Distance compressed into a nearby copy, delivered by a network designed to anticipate demand. That invisible infrastructure protects a little time. The moment a student stays with a lesson, a customer finishes a purchase, or a reader gets the story instead of a spinner. A CDN is not just a faster server. It is a way of moving the right work closer to the people who need it. Cyber clarity, making the invisible internet visible.